Welcome back, my friends, to the Battle of Fornovo, as we try to defeat and or rout the French force. Well, it's pretty much the same thing, isn't it now? Before we end this battle. So I actually just wanted to really thank everybody because we got a lot of likes or a lot of views on our last Pike and Shot campaign video for the Battle of Fornovo. And if things keep up like this, I will be doing a lot more Pike and Shot campaigns, Sengoku Jidai, etc. Really just requires a certain kind of person to enjoy these kind of videos. So for those of you that missed the last turn, you should definitely go check out my first part of the battle. It's 2 videos before this, so just go into my video library. But we're going to continue here, and where it's actually time to turn the turn. It didn't sound right, did it? To turn over the turn to the enemy. Now, the chances are, if we attack with our Italian mounted crossbowmen, we're actually going to lose against these crossbowmen over here. So I'm going to use these guys to go ahead and fire on the enemy crossbowmen. We completely missed. Not at all what I was going for, and in fact, we took some pretty nasty shots in return. So I'm actually going to take these guys, get up the hill, because I don't think these Italian mounted crossbowmen are going to do very well, since they're in kind of a disrupted stage, which means that they could easily break. But I'm definitely going to be charging with a few of these gendarmes and basically try to break all of the crossbowmen out of this area. Over here, if we attack, we're definitely going to lose, so we will not attack with that unit. We've got arquebusiers, which have been extremely useful. The musket has been very useful, or matchlock musket has been very useful for our men. So we're going to keep moving forward with them and hopefully start getting some hits here and do some nasty damage to the enemy. One thing that's a problem, the Italian gendarmes that we have here are up against some Swiss Keil, and they're probably going to make contact with our men. If they do, we're going to take a nasty set of losses. I can almost assure that. So I'm hoping that our firing phase, our missile phase, is going to work out well for us. We're going to end the turn and hope that this does, in fact, work out. Let's go ahead and do that. Residual shooting. The enemy's, of course, going to start with the residual shooting, and I must say they're pretty good in terms of their target practice. There's a reason that the French were able to cause so much damage in Italy. They know how to fight for sure, but we're routing a lot of their troops on the right flank. In the center, some are routing. Over here, we're hoping that this fight's going to go well, but the enemy gendarmes actually managed to kill quite a lot of our men. It's now the French turn, and I can't wait to see what they're going to do. I kind of guessed that they would probably try to move up on our mounted crossbowmen, but we've got to do everything we can, and unfortunately, they managed to break one of our units. They've also disrupted our other gendarme unit, and it could definitely cause us to break eventually. Here we go. They're going to charge. And that's a nasty smash through. They fragmented some of our men. Our men are not made for close combat, at least not our cavalry. And there we go. Sure enough, they attacked our gendarme. Unbelievably, our gendarme actually managed to fight off that Swiss Keil. But those guys are very, very good fighters. And I would be shocked if they didn't break us either this or next turn. So we need to start coming up with some better ideas. And one of the ways to do that is, of course, to go ahead and bring in those reinforcements. So that's what we're working on right now. Still got some more French moving in. Some nice artillery fire there from the enemy. 32, damn. Did not expect that one bit. I'm hoping that our return fire is going to go pretty well too. Remember, we also have a missile phase at the end of their turn. A residual shooting phase, I should say. Here we go. Let's hit some of those pikemen. Nice shooting. Okay, well, unfortunately, the enemy managed to disrupt us there. They absolutely smashed us over here, the arquebusiers. And, of course, I expected that. The Swiss Keil are going to do very well against our cavalry units. We've got to do something to stop those Swiss Keil, and I think the only way we're going to do it is by bringing in our own, I believe they're Landerschecks, to counteract them. So they've already broken that. We're still pretty even here. When you take a look at the numbers, 9 and 10%. 9% of our troops have routed, 10% of the enemy's troops have routed, and we're trying to move these guys forward for a fair fight. I guess you could put it that way. Going to move our crossbowmen forward. Let's fire on the gendarmes. And with our arquebusiers, they were very effective last turn. See if they're effective now. Not bad, but they could do better. Move these guys forward. We're going to turn and fire at the gendarme. So really setting up a sort of line of missile units that can be used effectively against the enemy forces. I'm even thinking of moving these crossbowmen to deal with the enemy crossbowmen over here, or the enemy Swiss Keil over here, excuse me. But we've got some spearmen units, and this is giving me some possibilities of an opportunity here to do something. So we could definitely attack these guys. It's going to end up in probably a draw. But what we can try to do is do some damage right now and smash them from 2 different locations. We've got this unit right here. I'm going to fire on the enemy. And I am actually going to go ahead and bring in our own Swiss Keil, or our own Keil, and charge. This leaves us open for sure because the enemy could smash us here, but it looks like the results are indecisive. But at the same time, we've done some damage here, and I'm going to smash them from this side too. 2 Landerschacht units against some Swiss Keil, and I wouldn't put so much effort into this attack if I didn't know just how dangerous this enemy unit is. So we want to make sure to obviously keep our minds out, be aware of the danger, and do as much damage to these enemies as possible. Let's go ahead and fire at that Swiss Keil. Got some arquebusiers here, and I'm hoping that the power of the musket can stop the power of the pike, which I must say right now I'm not too confident in. I'm not confident in the power of the musket because these pikes are pretty vicious. But maybe if we just keep bombarding these guys with a bunch of missile fire, we can actually make a difference. I'm not 100% sure. Let's bring our gendarmes forward. Hopefully the enemy can't catch up to us with those pikes. And we still got some more units moving up. Some Italian pikemen, as you can see, represented by all the different flags of Italy. We've got Venice, we've got Milan, we've got Livorno. We've got so many different flags here that are basically trying to unify Italy. Now, of course, at this point in history, Italy was not a unified country. It was a bunch of different principalities. But we're hoping that these guys do have some love for their fellow man and are willing to crush the French. No one right now likes the French, at least not in this conflict. It looks like we're very close to being smashed here. I am going to turn and try to fire a nice flanking shot into the enemy. Then again, we could also charge them, but I don't think that's going to work too well. However, charging these guys is going to work beautifully. They're going to evade our Italian gendarme. They're going up a hill, and this hill looks deadly. If we ever have to go up there, we're definitely in some trouble. I'd love to charge these guys, but I think we're better off firing at them for now. And just keeping that firepower up as much as possible. Let's take a look over here. We could charge these guys, but I think charging from the flank is going to be a lot more effective. Might take a while for it to materialize, but eventually that's going to work out pretty damn well for us, and we can also take out these heavy guns. So there we go. We've dispersed the enemy's heavy guns. They're not going to be firing on us anymore. Unfortunately, we still got one unit of cavalry here that refuses to stop charging, and obviously that unit of cavalry is not going to be very effective in a charge, so we're not going to mess with them. I'm more or less mostly concerned with the Swiss Keil over here, and of course the enemy presence over on this side. So let's see, can we charge? We probably could. Then again, we could also take our arquebusiers and fire into the gendarme, which might be just as effective. Let's get these crossbowmen forward. And actually a charge is possible here. Yeah, we're going for it. It's a risky maneuver, but if we can keep them trapped and locked in combat, we do stand a chance. Okay, come on, boys. Move forward to defeat the French dogs. We'll end the turn here. I'm only hoping that our residual shooting phase is much more effective this time. Yeah, I should have messed with those cavalry, but I felt very trapped, and it definitely looks like that unit is going to break without much difficulty at all. I'm glad that they're wasting a lot of their missiles, though, on that one unit, but as you can see, they're breaking our cavalry pretty damn resiliently. We're playing this on the major general setting. I believe it's 3 stars out of 5, so things could have been easier, but I decided to go with something a little more challenging. Hope that wasn't a mistake. There we go. Good job by our men. 24 enemy casualties, but we need that to continue if we have any chance of breaking the Swiss Keil. These are some of the best trained fighters in the Italian wars. And once again, the enemy crossbowmen are really surprising me, but hopefully we'll bring in our crossbowmen for some actual hand-to-hand combat pretty soon here. And look at that. They managed to break that unit. A lot of men there in the center. But it looks to me like they're mostly crossbowmen units. And sure enough, just as I expected, the enemy pikemen, we're going to go ahead and charge into our pikemen. Now we've got a real battle going on there. Just imagine all the pikes, all the bloodshed, people slipping on entrails. It's all possible in such a battle. Yep, the enemy's going to charge. Looks like their cavalry is much more superior to ours. I hate to admit that, but it's just the fact. And once again, their cavalry managed to catch up to our gendarme, causing them some serious problems and actually fragmenting them. Oh, they're getting awfully close to our Swiss Keil, or our, excuse me, our Landerschaft. We're not using the Swiss, we're using the German pikemen, mercenaries, German mercenaries, and let's hope that they work for us. Keep it up, boys. Another melee phase. 23-19. We lost on that one, but it's only by a tiny, tiny, tiny bit. 23. And once again, these units can attack on all sides, but they can also be flanked. I know it doesn't make too much sense, but basically, they're not as... they can essentially withstand a lot more flanking than, say, a cavalry unit can. But they still have a point of breaking, and they're definitely going to reach that point very soon if we're not careful. Once again, they managed to break our gendarme. Like I said, their cavalry is far superior. I'm only hoping we can use that to our advantage. As they push forward, they get a little overzealous, and we manage to counteract that. As you can see, right now, we're breaking all over the place, but it's mainly our gendarmes that are breaking. I mean, our musketeers and our pikemen, they seem to be doing okay. Looks like another flanking attack here. 24 fragmented. Yeah, we are hurting, guys. There's no other way to put it. It's only now that these pikemen are reaching the assaulted location where they should be. And I think I'm going to go ahead and turn. Open fire. No, we can't open fire because these guys are in locked combat. So, let's do the next best thing. Move past them. And possibly take these crossbowmen. Go ahead and charge the enemy. 32, that's what I'm talking about. We need to continue that. It looks like their crossbowmen have gone up the hill. What I'm going to do is I am going to try to flank the enemy unit with this cavalry. It's going to take more than one turn because we have to turn, but I think it's worth it, to be honest with you. Those units are not coming back. And here we go, guys. This is a chance to make a serious stand against the enemy gendarmes. They seem to be a lot better trained than ours. So I'm going to just throw everything we've got at them before we charge them with our pikemen. Right into the flank. Still not looking like we're going to win, but we can at least draw. We could also lose pretty terribly, but I was hoping that our pikemen would know how to deal with enemy cavalry units. There we go. Keep on firing. I'm going to turn towards them before I fire. Beautiful. That's the only way this is going to work. Taking out a lot of their men just with missile fire, but that's not going to be enough to win the battle. Let's move forward with these crossbowmen and fire again. 13. We must believe in ourselves, guys. Can't really do anything here because these guys are locked in combat and we can't fire on our own men. Although that ability should be in the game, I do believe. You know, it's like, what's his name said? Braveheart. Richard Longshanks always said, so we shouldn't fire into our own men. Well, we're also firing into theirs as well. Of course, I'm paraphrasing, but that's essentially what he said, and it's the kind of the way I'm thinking about this now. We've got to win this fight, and the only way to do that is going to be to get really aggressive with the enemy here. So there we go. We've trapped them in combat, but we're coming back with our Italian mounted crossbowmen, and hopefully we can do some damage here. If not, we'll probably do some damage next turn. Here we go, 82%, but they're going to definitely run. They're evading. So you can see at least they're turned away from our men. And we're just trying to catch these guys off guard. Eventually, we're going to do that. Move these Italian gendarmes. Just trying to basically set my army up to be as effective as possible. But we've got a lot of French up here on this hill, and it's really coming down to the fighting force of their men, how willing they are to fight and die to defeat the French, which they might not be so willing to do. Remember, in this time period, a lot of these guys were mercenaries. A lot of them really had loyalty mainly to their own area of Italy. There's a lot of campanilismo even in Italy today, where basically, you know, people are more loyal, instead of to Italy, they're really more loyal to the place they came from, whether that be Verona, whether that be Milan. That's the place that they have most respect for. So I'm hoping that our men are going to have the utmost loyalty here. Still got some crossbowmen. I'm going to fire into the enemy flank. 18, right up against them. That definitely had to knock some guys off their horses, and I'm sure crossbows at that range can pierce armor without any problem whatsoever. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Of course, we're going to come back with another, but do what you did the last one. Hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, share the video, and as always, drop some comments down below, especially if you have some comments regarding the Italian wars themselves. Thank you so much, guys. Take care, and have an awesome, awesome day.